So Nintendo had their February Direct, and I've been wanting this thing to get the attention that it deserves since it's released. Heck, I've been wanting to give it more attention since I started this YouTube channel. And when I started this YouTube channel, it was almost dedicated only to Nintendo. That didn't even make any sense, but we're keeping it in because, guys, Nintendo, I just want you to show up. Today's Nintendo Direct was a thing. I can't say that I necessarily didn't like it because there's really not anything that Nintendo can do aside from maybe try to hurt me that I don't like. But when I went through it, this is a 40-minute Direct. That's long for Nintendo, 40 minutes of dedicated time. I was expecting certain things. I am one of the people who is still waiting for the proper honoring of Zelda. And Link, Zelda, any of those characters, aside from maybe a little tribute to the music in some, like, I guess, drum game, there's no representation there at all. So if you're coming to find out more about Breath of the Wild 2, nothing. There was no Metroid Prime 4, there was no other real rumors, I guess. I don't keep up with rumors, but there were certain things that I'm like, you know what? It would be logical for us to maybe get more in this Nintendo Direct. So I'm gonna break it down as quickly and as well positively as possible, but essentially, and this is why I'm where I'm at when it comes to this, it was a lot of them telling us that we're still getting the games that they already told us we're getting at the end of last year, even though we already knew we were gonna get them, and we're still gonna get them this year at some point. With a couple releases. The big releases that I thought were really exciting was there is a Mario soccer game called Mario Strikers. It looks dope. It looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun, as well as something that would be fun online with a lot of people. The gameplay seems pretty rad, and that was actually exciting. I'm like, this looks cool. It looks like there's some meta to it. There's some equipment, different things like that. That is fun. I like that. And that's gonna be a blast and a half. And they finally, after almost 5 years of this thing being on the market, gave us Wii Sports, but Nintendo Switch Sports. So yeah, we're gonna be able to do some bowling. In fact, there was a chat I was in and they're like, let's start a bowling league. And I think that is gonna be so much fun. It's gonna be a blast. Something that I thought was really interesting though, is with the soccer game, you can actually strap a Joy-Con to your leg and kick and it'll detect the kick. But that feature isn't coming out till summertime. So we're starting to see this games being released incomplete happening, which kind of breaks my heart. But hey, at least we're getting Wii Sports Nintendo Switch version. Now into the reiteration phase, which is something that I found to be almost insulting, but whatever, it is what it is. They started off by telling us, hey, you're still getting Advanced Wars, even though we delayed it. And the different things they did was they added some quality of life improvements, which I appreciate because those games were like my favorite games on the Game Boy back in the day. You can fast forward through battle animations, as well as play online with other people, which is gonna be a lot of fun. And they got voice actors. So that's gonna be cool. The game itself is gonna be, I mean, they could just re-release a port of it and I would still be stoked. But the game, I feel like it's getting the attention it deserves. They said, we're getting Splatoon 3, and they showed us some campaign co-op mode, which looks like, well, chaos. But we already knew we were getting Splatoon 3, and then they gave us some gameplay of Kirby and Forgotten Stars, or Forgotten Kingdom? Forgotten Kingdom? Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Shows you how much I remember. My memory is flexible, but getting into that, I actually liked the gameplay. I'm gonna predict, and this is not at all anything or any sort of rumor, I just think the game's gonna play kind of like Bowser's Fury, where it's an open world-esque platformer, 3D platformer, because that just feels like what Nintendo does. They test something out and something we know, and then they give us the full thing, right? The Wii U, it was a Nintendo Switch test. At least that's what I think. They show different battle mechanics. You can still do copy and stuff, which is really, really rad, but also you could interact with the environment, suck in water, gobble up a car and be a part of the car. Like, that's gonna be a lot of fun. They told us we're still getting Kingdom Hearts Cloud version, which I love the Kingdom Hearts franchise. It's one of my favorite franchises out there, and it would be great on the Nintendo Switch, but I'm just not a fan of Cloud version or Cloud gaming because you have to buy the whole game. Maybe if it was free, then yeah, sure, it's compelling enough, but you can only play it when connected to the internet, so I'm not really a fan of that. But the things I'm most excited for are stuff like they're adding more courses to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. They're not releasing Mario Kart 9, and I didn't think they'd release Mario Kart 9. To be honest, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is such a great game. I recently played through every single course in one sitting with some friends. You can watch that on the channel. And they're gonna add 48 new courses over the course of the next 2 years. So by the end of 2023, we'll have all those courses. It's $24.99 for anyone who doesn't have the expansion pass. But if you do, it's free, and they're gonna keep adding more and more and more courses. That's okay. I'm okay about that. A couple ports they're bringing over that I'm wildly excited for, or Portal 1 and 2. That I think is gonna kill on the Nintendo Switch, especially with motion control. I think that's gonna be a fun game, and you get multiplayer in that, as well as Force Unleashed. Star Wars Force Unleashed was an incredible game when I played it the first time, and I think any of these older Star Wars games is so fun to play on the Switch. Are so fun to play, is so fun. They're fun to play on the Switch handheld mode. Then there's also Triangle Strategy, which I'm really excited for because that game is the classic 16-bit, whatever style. I love the art there. I love it so much. But the problem that I had with this Nintendo Direct wasn't the fact that they didn't show me the games that I wanted, because that's okay. I'm not gonna get what I want. It's more that the games we're getting are the games we already knew we were getting, and the games we didn't know we were getting are just remakes of games that we already had. I'm just curious, when are we gonna get the new things? They did at the very end say that we're getting a brand new Xenoblade Chronicles game, Xenoblade 3, and for those of you Xenoblade fans, congratulations. Me personally, not really a fan of the franchise, so it fell really flat on me. I just want to know what happened to the Zelda 35th anniversary, if Metroid's gonna get any sort of honoring, Kirby, Donkey Kong. These IPs that we cherish, I want more. Mario Odyssey was such a hit. Why do we not have a second one yet? And, you know, moving forward, I'm curious, Nintendo, what is gonna happen? I'm curious about your experience with this Direct. Did you enjoy it? Was it something that you are really excited for? What games are you stoked to play? Or were you, like me, sitting there grasping at straws, trying to find what you loved so that you didn't leave disappointed? I'm gonna be honest, I left disappointed, and I hate feeling this way, but it is what it is, and at the end of the day, it's video games, and they're pretend, and so, you know, it's not the end of the world, but I just like a little bit more Nintendo. That's all from me, guys. Happy gaming.